much for coming out and joining us in the ELLICSR kitchen. We have a very special class for you today. We're teaming up with Pancreatic Cancer Canada for Cooking in the Kitchen and the Gloria Pearl Education program as well. And we're joined by a very special guest. We have Sherri Freedman. She's the Chief Development Officer from the Princess Margaret Foundation. Thanks so much, Sherri, for coming out to this special class.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here. This is great.
Pleasure to see you. So you may or may not know, I'm seeing a lot of purple in the audience, which is wonderful. We're up here in our purple aprons because this month is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. And there was a survey done that found that 62% of people around the world have no idea how deadly this disease is. Now, here at the Princess Margaret, we're one of the few cancer centers worldwide that places an emphasis on pancreatic cancer. So Sherri, perhaps you can speak to us a little bit about why you must be so proud of our cancer center in leading the way and really trailblazing with such a deadly cancer.
Sure. Thanks, Christy and Geremy.
Yes.
Thanks to all of you for being here today, and to our friends at Pancreatic Cancer Canada, of course, and the Pearl family. So as many of you here know, the Princess Margaret Cancer Center is one of the top 5 cancer research centers in the world. And one of the things that makes us top 5 are certain special premier programs like our pancreas cancer program. So not only do we have some of the really leading clinicians and researchers globally, people like Steve Gallinger, but we have wonderful collaborative centers that are enabled by the generosity of our donors. So we have the Wallace McCain Center, which helps bring together multidisciplinary teams. It helps accelerate people's diagnosis and treatment, but also get patients all the help they need from all the allied professionals, because I always say that when you have cancer, and especially something as serious as pancreatic cancer, it's not like breaking your leg and going to get a cast on and then you heal and your cast comes off and a few weeks later you forget you ever had a broken leg. It's a lot more complex. You have a lot more varied needs. And so we're really especially proud and privileged to be able to support our patients in this way because of the wonderful support we get from people like the people in this room. So thank you. So we get to cook, and maybe we can chat as we cook too.
Absolutely.
Say more.
Yes. As we go through, we'll put you on the spot, get you involved in some of the cooking.
Great.
And we have some very special recipes prepared for you today. And these are wonderful recipes for people who are going through pancreatic cancer and its treatment, or even for after treatment as well. And so we'll be touching on some of the key nutrition components of those.
We have this
Gorgeous.
beautiful display over here. For me, this is winter. This is very seasonal. This is holidays. Even though it's maybe not the most traditional holiday meal that you may think of, I'm taking you into my holidays. This is tradition for me. So mushroom soup. I love mushrooms. And we're going to prepare a really, really easy, simple mushroom soup. Sherri, you don't have to share your skill and knowledge with your family, but this one you can keep for yourself for sure. So we have a selection of different mushrooms here. You can use any mushrooms that you want. Cremini, these little brown button mushrooms, are pretty accessible. You can even use the white button mushrooms. I find these, especially because at the same price point, they have a lot more flavor. So these are the ones I tend to go to, but the range of mushrooms is so large. Just don't pick your own mushrooms. I will say that. I know most of you know that. Don't use mushrooms you find in the backyard because they can be toxic. So shiitake mushrooms, cremini mushrooms, some beautiful types and varieties here. So what we're going to do to start off this soup, very simple. We have another one of my favorite ingredients, another holiday or winter favorite as well. This is a half cut of it. Does anyone know what this is? Shout it out if you do.
Fennel.
Yes.
Fennel, good.
Very nice. Fennel.
Love fennel.
Fennel. So fennel is texture-wise a lot similar to celery, right? It's got a nice crunch, really nice freshness, but that flavor.
Great flavor.
Beautiful flavor, right? It has like a mild anise Anise
Licorice.
is like licorice. I hate saying licorice because everyone's like, I hate licorice.
Love licorice.
Not cherry licorice.
Real licorice,
Not cherry
not the
licorice.
candy.
Yeah, black
It's not.
licorice. But it has a beautiful, refreshing flavor raw. But when you saute it, when you cook it, it just grows. You caramelize it, you get this beautiful sweetness out of it. So we're going to use this as the base instead of like a celery.
It's also a good replacement for onion.
Yes.
So
Good.
usually
Yes,
you'd
I
start your
agree.
soup with an onion, garlic, things like that. But when you're going through pancreatic cancer, or even afterwards, you might find some of these gas-producing foods are more difficult to digest. So as Geremy was saying, you can use things like fennel, maybe a little bit of celery, and really develop that beautiful flavor. And it just gives you another option. Another tip that he had during our last Cooking in the Kitchen series was you can actually smash a clove of garlic and put it into your stock or your soup, whatever it is you're making, saute it a little bit to get the flavor, and then take the whole thing right out so that you're not, getting some of those gas-producing compounds, but you're still experiencing the flavor.
Yeah, especially if you don't want to be caught with a clove of garlic.
Right, make sure you retrieve it. Somebody's
Yeah, absolutely.
gonna have an interesting meal.
So, Geremy,
yes.
can I ask a quick question? When you
Absolutely.
go to the grocery store, so when I buy mushrooms, I put them in the paper bag.
No,
Is
paper
that
bag.
the thing to do?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And if you're going to use them right away, I wouldn't even put them in the refrigerator. You want to avoid any sort of excess moisture that would get trapped on the mushrooms. It just makes them soggy.
So when you wash them, do you just wash them kind of lightly? And
Yeah, actually what I do is I get a clean dish towel, put a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of water on it, and actually brush the mushrooms really, really well, just to get a lot of that soot off. If you soak mushrooms, again, they are like
They
sponges.
absorb,
They will
yeah.
take everything in. Again, they'll just be soggy. They'll be a little challenging to cook with as well.
These look very clean.
Yes, absolutely. So our fennel is in a large pot over like about a medium heat. You can hear the sizzle, right? It's a nice gentle sizzle. It's like whispering to us. If it's screaming at you, it is too hot. So listen, use all your senses. And you just want to gently saute it for about 3-4 minutes. We're gonna speed it up and then add our mushrooms. So again, any variety of mushrooms. We've got about 3 cups for this large pot.
What about dried mushrooms and then you dehydrate them?
Great question. Actually,
It's a good question.
Are they nutritional as the fresh?
Absolutely,
question.
yes. So you can purchase dried mushrooms, and what you want to do when you rehydrate them is reserve that water, because the water is going to have a lot of the nutrients kind of drawn out of it. Anytime you're doing like a soup or a stock with any type of vegetables, you don't want to throw that water out because you're throwing out a lot of the nutrition. So Jeremy's actually going to show us a trick in a little bit to help to flavor our
Right.
delicious mushroom soup.
right now, actually, I actually get
go.
Sherri to do it. So this,
Yay.
we're making a stock for our soup. Making a stock from scratch, I mean, nothing beats it. We have on our YouTube page, we have some fantastic stock recipes, everything from vegetable to chicken. This is I'm late getting home and I have 5 minutes to get dinner ready and I need a quick
You've been
stock.
home with me.
There you go. There you go.
You're
Or I'm
following
feeling
me.
tired and, I'm not going to be cooking from
Right.
scratch
Absolutely.
or making my own stock for several hours. This is a quick fix.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we're gonna make a very quick mushroom stock using the dried mushrooms that you talked about. So in a glass jar,
Yep.
we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of dried mushrooms. So you can sort of add a little splash of those. Now these are
that
porcini. Add a bit more. There we
We're
go.
testing Sherri's eyeballing
There we
the
go.
measurement
Perfect.
skills.
Perfect.
At home, you can
Should
use
have
measuring cups.
practiced.
Perfect. These are porcini. You can use shiitake. Porcini and shiitake have the highest amount of umami. And I know I overuse that word
Umami.
here, but we'll talk about it again. Sherri, have you heard of umami before?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'll take that nod as
Yes.
as a maybe. So umami is one of our 5 tastes. Even just from the word umami, it's like savory. It's like this umptious. That is pretty much what umami is. You have your salt, you have your sweet, you have your bitter, you have your sour. Umami is that savoriness.
Umami. It's fun to
Umami.
say.
Yes. And dried mushrooms in general, but especially dried mushrooms, are loaded in this savoriness, this flavor. So that's what we're looking for. We want flavor without needing to add too many other things like salt or
Yes.
just get it from the natural ingredients. So dried mushrooms go in. You can use porcini, shiitake, whatever. I love the smell of it. Some people
They smell great.
It's
some people
strong.
say
I was just
it's
going to
strong.
say it smells unbelievable.
Yes. Some people say it smells like a barnyard. Either way, tastes fantastic. In there, we're going to add some herbs as well. So you add some basil. We have some some bay leaf, some thyme.
Do you want me to throw them in whole?
Whole. Just throw it all in.
Everything. All of it?
Everything. All of it in there.
This is a
Really
good
easy.
job for me, no measuring.
If you have the tops of the fennel, which can be a little fibrous to eat,
Yum.
just snap it in half.
Yeah.
And again, that goes into all flavor.
Excited about the fennel.
The last thing we're going to add, now this is one of my favorite things. It's not toothpaste. It looks like toothpaste. It's tomato paste. Tomato paste, another source of
Umami.
say everyone's going to say it together. Another source of
Umami.
yes. That sounds better from a large
Good.
crowd.
Yeah, we can do an om at the end.
Yes.
I practice yoga and we'll do an om at the end.
So you want to squeeze some of this
Sure.
in. So this is just
You're going to tell me
concentrated.
how much?
Yeah, go
Okay,
about a couple
keep
tablespoons.
going.
So this is just
that good?
concentrated
Perfect.
tomato with a little bit of salt.
Looks amazing.
And I use this in stocks,
good.
in soups. You can get this for like
Where'd
a
you
couple
get
bucks at the grocery store. Any grocery store should have it. Sometimes if you have it in the can, only in the can, take it out of the can. You can freeze it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do have the tubes, which again they're like a couple bucks, they're amazing.
Muti.
This is Muti brand. Yeah, but they have different types.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Italian product. I'm not biased. It's just that's what they had. But again, lots of flavor. So everything goes into that jar. Really simple. And those herbs, like that thyme, that bay, keep it in your
Fabulous.
freezer so it's on hand. It doesn't spoil. It stays fresh. Throw it in the jar. Then you cover that with some boiling water. So if you got a kettle, put the water on, cover it with some boiling water. And think of almost
This is
making tea.
Yeah, this is really my kind of cooking. This is really good. It's great.
Right? At this point, you can add a little pinch of salt, and you can season it after. That's perfect. Maybe a little pinch of salt if you want. And that's it.
Put this back?
Yeah, I can put it back. And that's it. Then you're gonna let that steep for like 5 minutes.
Should we cover it?
You don't have to cover it.
Okay.
No, just think of it as like a cup of tea. That looks like a delicious
gorgeous.
cup of tea, right?
All the flavors and a lot of the
Gorgeous.
nutrients are infusing into the water.
Yeah.
Only 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. If you leave it long, you can definitely leave it longer.
Stronger.
But yeah.
More umami.
More umami. The longer you leave it, the stronger it'll get. But a minimum of 5 minutes. Let it steep, and you have this really, really super flavorful broth. That'll be the liquid for your
feel it.
soup. So again,
wonderful.
super simple.
Unbelievable. So nice.
So once that's done steeping, we'll pour it over our mushrooms and our fennel, and we're gonna let that simmer for about 20 minutes, and then blend it. Like really, really easy. That's all it takes. Now, if you want to add something else,
And if you have pancreatic cancer or you're going through treatment or you're finished, it can be really, really difficult to nourish yourself well because your appetite might be a lot smaller than it used to be. So as dietitians, we often recommend that people have smaller, more frequent meals, or even to not think of the times that you eat as meals, because it doesn't have to be, meat and potatoes and a vegetable. It can be smaller snack amount. So every couple of hours, having something that has plenty of calories, protein, some nutrients to it as well is really, really important. So with this soup, we do have, some nice nutrients from the mushrooms, definitely. So we're getting some anti-inflammatory power from them, some antioxidants, and that's important. So we're getting lots of vegetables in the soup, but we want to bump up the protein and we want to bump up the calories to really make every bite count. So we're going to add some eggs to get some extra protein into our soup. And this is something you can think about with each of your meals, each of your snacks. How can I bump things up? Or I like to call them calorie and protein boosters. So what can you add to something like a soup to really get the most out of every bite?
for sure.
Does anybody have ideas on how you can add more calories to a soup like this? Yeah. You could add cream, yes, and have more of a cream-based soup. That would be perfect. Dried milk powder, yeah, absolutely. Skim milk powder is great to add to soup because you get some protein from it and it doesn't curdle at all. Tofu would be nice here too, absolutely. And you probably see at restaurants or in cooking magazines a beautiful drizzle of oil at the end of your soup, right? To really finish it off. So that's a really nice way to use some heart-healthy oil, like olive oil, do a nice drizzle on top. And that's a really beautiful way to increase the calories without needing to eat more food.
So we're going to do something here that's a little different. We're going to use some egg, like Christy talked about. Great little addition to the soup to sort of boost up the protein, get some of those calories in there. And we're going to make some nice ribbons, almost like a pasta. So very, very delicate. Again, super simple to make. I've got a couple eggs here. I added just a little splash of water just to thin it out a little bit. And then you can season it with, you can just leave it like that, but you can also season it if you want.
A little salt.
Pinch of salt, and then I have some nice fresh herbs here. This is just some tarragon.
Yum.
You can put parsley, even dried. You can put dried herbs in there for sure.
I bought a great thing. It's an herb scissors. Have you ever seen this?
Herb scissors,
And
yeah.
it's great for people. It's also good if you have trouble cutting into teeny pieces. So they're these little green scissors. They're fantastic. I just got mine at sort of a random place, but they're good to look out for, and I think they're nice gifts. Also, it's a little something that you add into something else, or stocking stuffers.
I like that.
And I think they're helpful.
I do like that. Yeah, so a little bit, you add a little bit of the egg and just sort of swirl it around. If you have a nonstick pan, it works really easy. If you have just like a stainless steel pan, just make sure it's hot. You can add a little bit of oil to that as well. And just until it coats the bottom, and then just cook it. It'll take like a minute. It does not take long at all. And I'll show you the soup
Amazing.
while that's cooking.
You could invite Geremy over and ask him to do it.
Sure,
I think
thanks.
that might be a good idea
Thanks.
too. Right, Helen?
Oh, we're
Right.
gonna set that up. We'll set that up. So the soup I blended, and you have this like beautiful, almost like caramel
Wow.
color. And I'll ladle it in here.
Glorious.
I get really, really fragrant.
Wow.
So we got a little bit of that soup here.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Really, really flavorful. And then you can,
gorgeous.
have fun with it. You have these beautiful little enoki mushrooms. Again, you can find these in grocery stores. Put a couple of those on top.
gorgeous.
Anything, we have some just sauteed mushrooms that we took out before we blended it. Now this is obviously, I'm getting chefy here. You don't have to do this, especially if you're in a rush. But think about, again,
nice.
it's for the holidays. Maybe this is a dinner party that you're hosting, or even having some friends and family over. A really, really quick, simple soup. You can dress it up a little bit so it looks like you spent hours and hours and hours making it, right?
And it's nice to do for yourself
Right.
too, because
Absolutely.
if you don't have much of an appetite, there is research that has shown if you kind of, ate the soup out of the pot in front of the TV, you wouldn't enjoy it as much and you might not eat as much. Right? Some of us do that, or if you didn't take the extra time to put it in a nice bowl, maybe light a candle, sit down at the table, and the way that you set up your meals really makes a difference in your enjoyment of them, and it can really help with your appetite. So that's important.
And
So-
it looks festive. It looks
Absolutely.
like something you get at the most beautiful restaurant.
Exactly,
Honestly.
and you deserve
like the
it.
Four Seasons right here.
There you go.
In the basement.
So that egg, once you start to see it sort of caramelize and it's cooked on top, it'll just let it fall out of the pan, and you have this really nice caramel, golden brown, really, really thin, like a crepe, like you mentioned. So we're gonna just roll it up really thin. And again, this, even if you are doing a dinner party, you can do this ahead of time and just store it in the fridge, these ribbons.
They're like egg noodles.
Exactly.
I think my grandmother
They
used
look
to
like-
make them, right?
Right, and you
Yeah.
have these beautiful, exactly, like little
Yeah,
delicate egg
they're-
noodles, but there's no
Call them
pasta.
Luction.
Really,
It's the
really
same
simple.
thing.
You can keep these in the fridge for a couple of days and add them to different recipes like pasta. It's a great option.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandmother never did that with the fancy
No, no, no.
arranging. No.
You don't have
No,
to, but
she
in
didn't.
case you want to. A little just of olive oil, and that's like a really
Bravo.
nice seasonal mushroom soup.
So good.